Well, hello, third and fourth graders. Wow, Bob has been living through a lot of tremendous weather. Let's keep reading and see what's happened to all his friends. Gorilla World. I move on. I have to find my friends. I have to. But where am I? I leap over another mangled signpost with bent arrows on the way to Reptileville. One way to Lionland. I pass the mangrove swamp, and a manatee pokes up her big head, draped with Spanish moss like a silly wig. Two workers in yellow raincoats passed me. One has a bloody bandage on his cheek. I need to stop. I need to regroup. Cool it, Bob, I tell myself. I'm panicking, not taking in the right data. I try to blot out all the horrible smells and the awful noise. I concentrate. Let my nose do the real work. I whiff on something familiar. Gorilla? It has to be gorilla. Full run now. I cut my back left paw so on a shard of glass. I trip. I fall hard on my nose and cut that too. Dripping blood. I carry on. Find them, find them, find them. A massive old oak lies on its side in the entrance to the gorilla world. Huge tangled roots grope into the air like frozen snakes. And just beyond, where Ivan lives, is nothing but devastation. Help us. The stone wall separating Gorilla World and Elephant Odyssey is gone. Pieces of both domains are mingled. An elephant toy here, a gorilla nest there, and part of the indoor gorilla space has crumbled to the ground. I scan the area where Ruby and her herd like to hang out. Nothing. No gorillas either. Out of nowhere, the rain picks up and comes sideways, blinding me, and the wind howls like a hurt dog. This storm isn't over, not by a long shot. I leap over a pile of cement blocks, catch my hurt foot on something sharp, and yelp, but keep going. Ivan, I call. Ruby! Nothing. I get to a slight rise, leap over another overturned tree, and try to make sense of the damage. Red and blue lights cut through the rain. Police, fire engines. Good. We need all the help we can get. I take in several lungfuls of hideous air. It's too wet, too full of conflicting odors, a mishmash of scents I can't decipher, especially with my busted nose. The wind gathers speed, pushing at me with incredible force. It feels like I'll tear my ears right off my sore noggin. I can barely stay upright. Wind like that, storm wind, doesn't carry scent. It obliterates it. Help! Help us! It's a tiny, desperate voice. Maybe even Ruby's voice. Kudzu. I pick my way through the debris, trying to lock on the sound. It ain't easy. Please help us! Climbing over the remains of the wall, the one I was sitting on what seems like moments ago, I find myself at the bank of the moat. Ruby! I call at the top of my lungs. Uncle Bob! The sound of my name cuts through the gloom like a shaft of sun. Ruby runs to the opposite edge of the water. She's maybe 8 feet away, but I can barely make her out in the torrential rain. You stay there, I yell, trying to be heard over the wind. I'll come to you. I follow the bank until I come to the spot where several chunks of the wall have tumbled into the water. 3 careful leaps and I'm across. Ruby runs to greet me. She wraps her mud-coated trunk around my neck, and oh boy, am I happy to see that sweet little elephant. You hurt, Ruby, I ask? Is everyone all right? Ruby sniffles. Yes, but come quick, and she dashes off before I can ask anything more. 5 of Ruby's aunts stand by the elephant's side of the moat. Each one of them has her trunk plunged deep in the dark, muddy water. They look like a bunch of kids trying to find a lost toy in a swimming pool. It's almost funny until I see what they're reaching for. A baby gorilla is in the moat. The tiny gal keeps grabbing for a trunk to hold on to, but then slips free. Her terrified screams fill the air. It's Kudzu, Ivan's favorite. An idea. I'm going in, says Maska, one of the younger aunts. Might make things worse, Akilo cautions. Displace the mud, pull her down towards the bottom. I could go in, I suggest, the words popping out before I can swallow them. It's more mud than water, Bob, Akilo shakes her head. You'll get stuck as Kudzu. I don't exactly argue the point. I've got an idea, comes a small voice. All the aunties turn to Ruby, and she looks startled to have their complete attention. A couple of us get on the other side of the moat, Ruby says. Grab trunks. We'll make like a, what do you call it? A sling, I exclaim. A hammock, like the gorillas have. I don't know, Ruby, Akello sounds doubtful. Kudzu grabs for Mikasa's trunk with both hands. Wait, Masika says. I think I've got her this time. Masika lifts her trunk with deliberate slowness, carefully trying to support the baby gorilla, but once again, Kudzu can't hold on. She lets out a despairing cry. Down she goes, lower this time, her nose and eyes just visible. Okay, Akilo says with a nod to Ruby. Let's give Ruby's idea a try. Masika, Lahali, Elodie, cross over to the far side. Zaina, Ruby, and I will take this side. All three elephants move with surprisingly quickness to the spot where I crossed. They gallop back until they're facing us. It's strange to see them on the other side of the moat. With the walls destroyed, they're technically in Ivan Kimani's domain. Move down a bit, Akilo instructs. That way, she motions with her head. We want to scoop her out, not push her down. 3 on one side and 3 on the other side, the elephants reach out for each other's trunk, creating a kind of cradle. Okay, now, Akelo says, lower carefully. Down they go into the muddy water. Ruby nearly loses her footing, so I grab her tail with my teeth. It doesn't really help, and she yelps, ouch! But my heart was in the right place. Kudzu thrashes her tiny arms. Stay calm, I call. Easy for me to say. She looks over at me, and I'll never forget the fear in her dark eyes, and then she vanishes below the surface. Boys and girls, this animal is in big trouble. He is now slipped under the water. What do you think is going to happen? Make a prediction. Do you think the elephants are going to be able to get them out the way they're trying? Or do you think they're going to have to try something totally different? Let me know. Ciao, ciao for now.